Can you hear that? My brother's trying to learn to play Number of the Beast on guitar. It's not too bad. He just has to work on his speed. Hey there guys, Godhammer227 with another, not exactly a knife. This is more of a machete review. I can't even sit my iPad on the desk where I usually have it for these reviews because this thing is so damn big. Okay, this is the Schrade Survival Bolo. Although it's not really a bolo, the shape of the knife is a parang, as any knife lover can tell. This thing, well, this is actually in bad condition. I got it and then used the hell out of it. And yeah, this is what it looks like now. It's kind of tarnished on the blade and stuff. Anyways, I'll give you some specs. I've got them all written down right here. The blade alone is 14 inches. It's almost 2 feet long in total. The blade steel is 3CR13 stainless, which is not exactly a super high quality steel, but I mean, it got the job done for what I was doing earlier. But I have some gripes about it in a little bit. 4 millimeters thick at the spine. It is pretty, if you compare it to my thumb, it's pretty darn thick. It's insane. All right, if I can get this thing to stand back up. There we go. And it is almost 2 pounds. I think it's 26 ounces total. Yeah, it is a chopping machine. I'm going to talk about the knife and then we'll talk about the stuff that it came with, because the stuff that it came with is equally as good. So, it has this super nice edge to it, very fine point. The point, don't have many complaints about it or anything with the point, but it was not as, I guess, well, pointy. It was not as piercing sharp as I would have liked it. Let's see if I can get this to focus in. This is going to be a bad review. Yeah. So the point actually held up very, very well for what I was doing to it. I was abusing this blade. Yeah, my biggest complaint about this is that if I could get it to focus on the spot, I don't know if it will, but it got dented. I think you can see it right there. The blade just barely got dented sideways. And that could have been a number of things that I was doing. Although I wasn't like striking rocks or anything. I took this thing out into the woods near my house and I tore it up. I mean, I didn't tear it up on purpose. I was just seeing what it could do, put it through some rigorous testing. So, took it out, chopped a couple of tree limbs, split some logs, did some baton work, and it actually held up extremely well. It batons like a dream. I mean, it was amazing. You could just barely stick it in and it would go straight through it in no time. Heck, I think the batoning was actually holding it back. I probably could have split those logs with just one swing of this monster. The grip is this very textured rubber. I think you can see it there. How it looks right there is what it looks like all over the handle. And it's got this little reinforced lanyard hole. This is very nice pommel. It stops your hand from going anywhere. Like, that is way taller than my hand. So if you're down on the handle to get more power, it is definitely going to stop your hand from going anywhere. Have a minor complaint with the handle. This part right here, I feel it should, go straight or even curve back a little bit, just so, because this one curves up. I think this one should curve back. Just keep your hand in a very firm spot. Just so, and it's not like you have a whole lot of play in your hand when you really grip this thing, because it has very nice ergonomics to it. But just something I noticed, and it would have been nice if they had turned it the other way. The blade itself held up very well otherwise. I mean, it got a little tarnished, but what can you expect in the, this knife is not meant to look pretty. This knife is meant to be used and abused and absolutely just battered. Actually, I think that's a piece of dust, not a scratch. Yeah, that's just a piece of dust. All right, so now onto the stuff that this thing came with. All right, it comes with this reinforced ballistic nylon sheath. This thing is pretty rugged and durable. You have this adjustable shoulder sling, and I had it slung over my shoulder. and I was dragging it through some really thick underbrush, and my back was getting scraped by twigs and sticks and all that kinds of stuff, and it held up. No damage to the stitching or anything that I can tell so far. It's held up. Another, well, just one little thing about the sheath. There's no clip, or not necessarily a clip, but there's no belt loop. Like something right here would be very useful if you don't want to sling it across your back all day. Because this thing would be, especially if you're trying to move quickly or you need it for quick access, it's a lot harder to access if it's slung across your back and not right there on your belt. So it also comes with this little attachable and detachable pouch. And let's see what's in that. All right, and this was what was in that little pouch. This thing is removable. It's just got Velcro on it. And actually, this has a belt loop on it. You can stick a belt right through there and carry it on your belt. If you don't want to carry the machete, or if you want to carry them separately, you can do that. Also comes with a diamond sharpener. And I'm actually going to try and do a how-to on these, just because I had never used these sharpeners before, this kind. I'd always use my dad's whetstones with like gun oil or WD-40. So I learned how to use these by trial and error, basically. And I actually got my machete pretty sharp. So I'm going to try and do a how-to on how to use these in specific. It also comes with this 2-inch ferro rod. And I mean, this thing sparks. I was actually trying to set a fire. Of course, it's been raining in my area, so I couldn't get more than a few smoldering pieces of leaf, but comes with this nice little cord, wraps around your wrist, so while you're striking it, you don't drop it. It's right there in your hand, and you can strike away. I actually cut my finger doing all this on a stick, actually. So, got this ferro rod, which I used the hell out of, which is why it was coated in black, or titanium, I guess, just like the blade of the bolo itself. But yeah, I sent sparks flying with it pretty well, and it worked out very well. So that's what's in the little tiny pouch. All right, so how this thing holds the bolo in, it has a button strap right here, which is actually adjustable because it gets really tight, and I actually have it really tight just so it stays on there, and the button is very firm, and yeah, it's actually kind of hard to press sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, see, very firm button. And also right here, there are these two snaps on the side that hold the blade, because the blade itself, yeah, it's right behind there. I don't know if you can see it very well. This is going to be a really crappy review. But the blade itself is way too big for the opening of this thing. Because down here, way bigger than up here. So you have to slide it in kind of sideways-ish, or you have to slide it in from the side and then push down, and it will go all the way to the bottom. And there's some reinforced, I want to say some kind of plastic on the inside that, yeah, you can see it there. All that, it's like a plastic type material that helps you not destroy your sheath or help the tips stick in it and everything. Also, using the ferro rod, it's made the edge of the back of the blade kind of rough. And I mean, that's, you know, that can be expected from ferro rods and all that, and that's not a big complaint. I was just pointing it out that it'll do that. So, you know, like I said, not made for beauty. It's made to be used, abused, put out in the toughest of the tough, and it holds up very well. I'm actually not sure how I dented it, but I need to figure that out because I just got this a few days ago. Now, getting it a few days ago, I will bring up the price. I got this at my Bass Pro Shop near me for $53. That's including tax, $53. And I mean, for $53, this thing could, if you use it the way it's supposed to be used, you know, you're out camping or, you know, as a survival tool, this thing will last you a long, long time. And it is a great tool. Absolutely awesome. And I am not regretting my purchase. Now that dent, that was my fault. So that's not on Schrade, that's on me. And I understand. That's fine. So, in a nutshell, that is the Schrade SCHBOLO. And I'm sorry about the crappy quality and moving around of all this video, but this thing is literally so big that I could not sit my iPad on a pile of books and aim it at my desk like I usually do for knife reviews. Also, I'd just like to point out that my first video now has over 1,000 views, and I'm a guy that appreciates the small things in life. I know 1,000 views is not a big thing for YouTube, but I appreciate that. To all the people who have watched my videos over the last couple months, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys. Leave some comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.